when you started implementing the $1 rule into your life, how fast did you see the savings start piling up?
Faster than I had actually expected. And I was wondering, why didn't I do this sooner? And I mentioned to you earlier, before I was in personal finance, I was actually in the fashion industry. And one of the things that I learned in fashion is fast fashion really is fast fashion, right? Some of these items that we buy for so cheap, right? We think, oh, well, we're saving money because it's only $10 on this shirt, but then it falls apart in the washing machine and you really only got to wear it twice. And so what I figured out is that in using the dollar rule, aside from the money that we're saving from it, I was also not spending as much time shopping, right? And so when I would go shop, I would find for those investment pieces, I would look for those investment pieces, and those would last a lot longer. And so I actually was shopping less, right? And so you know how a good sale will get me anytime.
Every time, yeah.
Every time, right? But I wasn't falling as quickly for those sales anymore because I was like, is this something that I'm really going to wear a couple of years from now? Or is this just something that's going to be a fad right now? And I found that when I started doing the dollar rule, I was seeing like hundreds of dollars starting to show up on a monthly basis. One, because I was a big shopper back then, but also because just the sheer amount of times that I was going shopping was just a lot less.
This is something I definitely need to start implementing and will start implementing ASAP, but I want to take a step back. You said you were originally a stylist, so you were in fashion. What made you make that transition and help people gain this sense of financial freedom?
Yeah, so it was interesting. I actually was in corporate for 10 years before that, and then I thought my dream job was to go into fashion. And so my job was to actually help women get dressed for these special events, like for weddings and galas. And you'd be surprised at how much you learn about women when they're taking their clothes off right in front of you, right? And we have really vulnerable conversations. And what I noticed across a lot of these women, and because at the time, the business I owned was a dress rental company. So women were coming to my business to borrow a dress, wear it one time, right? And then have me dry clean it, and then they don't have to keep it in their closet. And all of those women who came to me were very practical, right? They're like, I know I'm not going to wear this more than once, especially you take so many photos, right? In these big events, right? But I started to notice that the thing that I actually really was excited about was not the fashion part. It was helping these women save money and helping them, figure out like, okay, well, you're about to go spend $400, $500 on this dress that you're going to wear one time. And now you got to rent this dress from me for $99. And I would ask them, what are you going to do with the money instead? And they would say, oh, I'm going to take my kids, to go see a show, or I'm going to use it to like buy my friend a gift. And that started me thinking, you know what? I still want to help women. I still want to help with things like self-worth, which was part of why I did that business, but maybe I can do it from the personal finance perspective instead.
And can you talk about the importance of financial freedom? Because I really don't think that can be overstated, especially when it comes to women. We talked about the guilt, but can you elaborate more on why it's so important for women especially to be financially free?
Yes. So I feel very strongly about the words that we use, especially in personal finance. And so often we hear the term financial literacy, right? And a lot of what I've seen that's geared towards women is financial literacy. Let's just teach you some of the basic rules, like what is a credit score? Like what is interest? Like all of those basic things. But honestly, I think we're capable of so much more as women. And so what I teach is financial freedom or financial independence. And the differentiation I make in that is financial literacy is just teaching women how to play the game of money. But I want to teach women how to win the game at money, which is financial independence, which is hopefully one day you're going to be able to say, I'm making choices based on the things that I want to do with my life, independent of how much it costs me. And how much more freedom can we all have as women if we are actually making choices on what's right for us versus how much it costs, right? And, the other aspect of this, which is a much broader idea, is that how much different would the world be for women if we had more money in the hands of people who wanted independence for both women and men?
Winning the game of money. I love the message. Thank you so much for coming on and teaching us the $1 rule. Definitely immediately implementing it. I already started. Bernadette Joy, thank you for coming on. I hope you come back.
Thank you so much for having me.